So, in the end, what can I say about Lost Village? It actually wasn't entirely awful. In a sense, I was kind of going to this episode, but everyone was saying, like, oh my god, it's like the worst thing in the world. I left this kind of saying to myself, that actually wasn't that bad. It kind of just had some semblance of stuff going on that kind of made some semblance of sense. Since we kind of learn about Reiji and Masaki's character, that kind of relationship to me was kind of alright. In a sense, basically, she wanted someone to cope with her loneliness because you actually find out Reiji's a part of her imagination. So you actually learn about that, and basically Reiji was there to actually listen to her, kind of say what she needed to hear, and that kind of thing. So I thought to myself, it's actually not too bad. So her going to Nanaki Village basically was to kind of see if Reiji exists, and she can actually touch him at that point. So in her heart, he does actually exist, but in the end, she has to kind of grow past that idea. She has to grow past that person and find someone that she can listen to outside of Reiji. And that gets me so many in terms of that character. And I thought to myself, I can't argue, really. I really can't argue with this anime because it just kind of did its thing and it kind of was really kind of alright. Like, it wasn't bad. Like, I just kind of got to. Certain episodes really did piss me off. Certain episodes just kind of dumped a load of information on you and you kind of sit there and go, what the fracking hell is going on? But I think this episode tried to kind of tie up the major loose ends, but kind of leave a lot of them still evident. But it didn't do anything too badly. And since we kind of learned about Kohoron and basically her dad, and since her dad's actually the researcher, she went to that village to kind of find his Nanaki because she wants to find a way to actually help her dad not age that fast. And she went to the Nanaki village to go find his Nanaki, but she couldn't find him, so she experimented with other people so that she may be able to actually kind of provoke an Anaki and actually kind of bring out a fading trauma. And I thought to myself, okay, so in the way she was going about it, kind of seemed a bit jaded. You didn't know how to trust her or not, but in the end, you kind of, when you see her motives, I'm like, okay, so that's alright. In the end, she actually stays to kind of continue her research in Anaki village, and a lot of people do stay, a lot of people kind of stay there and say, can we actually live here without losing our identity? Can we actually live here in the village, like, completely fine? And the group of them just leave, say, F it, we don't like this place anymore. Let's get out of here. But, really, I just can't be angry with this anime. I actually can't find it in my heart to be angry because it just did its thing. Like it really did. Like it just ended. Like that's the main thing. Big Order pissed me off because a lot of the things it was trying to do just kind of just fell flat. And it didn't do anything great. This one kind of did stuff, kind of did it okay, but it kind of failed in parts. But in some kind of aspects, it just didn't. It just you kind of went along with the ride. Like, that's the main thing. You just kind of went along with the ride, and that was the main thing. I mean, you kind of also learn about Hayato and Mitsume's relationship. We know now that Mitsumene kind of wants a relationship where he can actually rely on Hayato, and Hayato can actually rely on him. This is a kind of an equal friendship. I thought to myself, that's all right, because we actually learned in this episode that really Hayato is really strong at the fact that he wants to go with Masaki all the time. But in the end, Mitsume's all like, nah, fam, look, listen to me. I just want a relationship that's kind of just equal. Like, you can rely on me, and I can rely on you. And it says, when you're having problems, I can actually listen to you. And that kind of relationship, I thought, that's actually not too bad. So, really, in essence, it was kind of nice. And in the end, when Hayato is actually kind of injured, Mitsume picks him up and kind of just carries him. It's like, you're weak, you can't be doing this. He goes, no, I'm actually going to do this. Since I can't, if I leave you here, I won't have changed. I thought to myself, Mitsumune, you've actually improved. I actually kind of like you. In a sense, that's the main thing. A lot of the characters I hated in the whole entire anime turned out to be kind of alright. They're actually kind of not too bad characters. But it was a certain times in this episode I was kind of like, oh, freaking hell. Like, really? That was good. That's what you're going for? Really, for me, it kind of felt a bit too Disney at points. I thought to myself, that's the main thing I kind of got from it. Sometimes it kind of went a bit too Disney. I mean, Reiji's character kind of spinning some like philosophical crap. Sometimes I thought to myself, Reiji, can you shut up like for 1 second? Just not start spinning this like kind of philosophical crap. It's like getting to a point where I was like, damn, man, stop it. But I just don't know. Now, Val kind of saying, look, I should stay here and just trust this person since I'm not a good judge of character. Maybe if I stay here, I actually might be able to find the other person. That kind of ignites some kind of relationship with Kohoro and Val kind of. But I thought to myself, it's one thing I didn't like is the romance, and since it just kind of felt a bit left field, and I just don't know. And in the end, basically, they all leave, half of them leave on a bus and just kind of sing that song, the Hippopotamus song, and yeah, it's that. And then in the end, love upon goes, we should execute. And I was like, well, freaking out, that never changed. That was still freaking evident, but I just don't know. Like, literally, I just don't know how to feel. Like, I don't hate it. That's the main thing. A lot of people are going on the internet saying, well, freaking out is a waste of time, but I don't feel that way. That's the main thing. I just don't feel that way because it did its thing. It finished, and I just kind of felt like the experience was alright. The experiencing kind of just did its thing. I think for me and a lot of people, the actual writing was the problem in Lost Village. Is actually the kind of crux that really did kind of hit a lot of people at the experience because most of the plot points they were kind of introducing, yeah, they were cool. They were kind of innovative. They're kind of neat. But the whole idea of psychological trauma that kind of manifests as this big thing. It was kind of a neat idea. But it's the way they execute it, the way they kind of just dumped all this information on you within one episode. You kind of sitting here going, I can't take any of this seriously, I can't take any of this in because it's happening so freaking fast. I think that was a downfall for Lost Village, is the fact that the constraint of 12 episodes really did kind of hit this anime really fracking hard. It kind of hit it to a point where you just really couldn't take any of these plot points that people were saying seriously, because, look, they were introducing the whole idea that actually you can actually just manifest a trauma beyond the way it was originally, in the sense of the whole thing of Hayato's trauma, in the sense it grew fracking big and tried to kill people. That whole thing there, it came out of nowhere, it came out of left field. A lot of the things did come out of left field. You kind of sitting here wondering what the hell they're trying to do, in the sense, were they fracking out, like stoned? Were they stoned out of their minds, so they like kind of think all this up as it goes along? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like this anime was thought up as the episodes went along. It wasn't kind of thought out originally, in the sense they didn't have a plan going into this anime, knowing what they want to do each episode. It didn't feel like that at all. It kind of felt like they were just dumping all this information on you because they didn't know how else to explain it, didn't know how to develop these ideas, and I think, for me, that's where it suffered. Because really, when you think about it, the stuff that was actually in this anime wasn't actually that bad. It was actually kind of interesting. It's actually kind of engaging, but it's the way they execute and the way they kind of play with perception as well. Of the whole idea that really everyone thought this is going to be a horror anime where people are going to die. In the sense, we've all thought to ourselves, well, these people are going to die. In the sense, 30 characters, how we're all going to like these characters, we all have to die sometime. But no, never happens. In the sense, no one actually died. No one actually did. Yotsune was dead, but now he's alive. So really, no one dies. So that's kind of that whole idea as well. It plays with perception. A lot of people kind of got a bit pissed with that. The whole idea to really kind of think to yourself, oh wow, what was the point in it? Because no one died. We all thought everyone was going to die. No one did. But I think, when I think about it in a larger context, I kind of think this anime is an acceptance kind of anime, in a sense, basically just get past what your mental hiccups are, in a sense, just accept what's happened in the past and get beyond that point. That's why I kind of see this anime as less of a horror anime, but more as this kind of idea that, look, these people have mental hiccups. They want to get away from their lives. They want to get away from everything and just start a new life, but they can't, because your past always catches up to you. You can't ever escape it. And I think that's what the whole idea was going into this anime. Really, it's just that, in a sense, your past does always catch up with you. You can't ever like leave it. It's always going to be there. In a sense, your mental hiccups will never leave you. You have to kind of accept this whole idea. And if it's going for that, well, I guess it's alright. But it's just the way they kind of presented it, the way they kind of went about things, it just presented something completely different. I don't think that was the right way of going. I think that's kind of what maybe might have been the other downfall for Lost Village, because again, plot points came out of fracking nowhere. In a sense, that's kind of the main thing for me. In the sense, Kokoron's dad being the researcher, I was kind of like, freaking hell, like, the sense could have foreshadowed this originally and kind of just told us what her true motive was. It's like maybe in episode 9, I say, oh, well, she does actually say last week I had a person I trusted, now I can't trust them. Since she does say that, but it doesn't actually imply the fact that maybe the researcher's her dad. It could have just kind of implied something, or just kind of alluded to something, and then presented in this episode. It just didn't. It just kind of came out of left field, and you kind of sitting there going, what the fracking hell? I don't know, just another thing, the same thing that happened with Big Order. Stuff was happening, stuff wasn't being explained, stuff was just kind of out of left field. You're kind of sitting there going, how can I take any of this in? How can I take any of this seriously? Because literally, it was just flying at you. Like, I just could never take anything seriously, but I kind of liked it. I liked the thing it was trying to do, didn't like the way it executed it. That's the main thing. That's the kind of what I'm getting away from this anime. I didn't like the way it executed. I didn't say it's outright bad, in the sense I liked this episode, how it ended, but the way it executed most of the plot points, it just kind of fell short. I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to feel. I didn't know what to say. I just couldn't conjure my own thoughts most of the time. So kind of sitting there going, how am I Christ meant to explain that, oh yeah, this is what Nanaki is? I can't, because it's one of those things that just came at you in 5 minutes. You're kind of like, okay, so that's what happens, this is what's that, that's what's that. And since you just really couldn't take anything seriously, but I don't know, there was good intentions. Just the way it executed kind of fell short. I don't know whether or not the director or the writer was kind of doing this intentionally. I'm not too sure. It's a confusing concept. There's no one to know what to say. I don't know what to say. Oh, dude, it's a monstrosity, or it's actually a good anime just kind of executed poorly, because people will say there's a monstrosity. Other people will say, oh my god, it's actually not that bad. Me, I'm kind of sitting on the fence. I'm saying like about a 5 out of 10, like in the sense it has good ideas but executed poorly, and since it's not as bad as Big Order. Big Order for me, like, kind of just pissed me off. It kind of got to the point where my brain was literally just going, no. This one kind of got to that point at one point, but then it kind of just, I accepted it. In the sense, just like an Anaki, I accepted what was happening, kind of just grew past it and just went, well, I should just go along with the ride. And I kind of enjoyed it. That's the main thing I'm getting from it. So yeah, with all that said, having the driver, if you have enjoyed the video, do leave a like. It does mean quite a bit. And I hope you guys have enjoyed my review series for Lost Village, because it has actually been pretty freaking interesting to review, I must say. So yeah, if you want to leave a sub, do leave a sub and some cuts a bit. But with all that said, I've been a driver, and I will see you guys later.